Hi everybody, we've got a 4-color Caves deck list here, and we've managed to cram a few copies of Arcane Bombardment in it. When looking at the deck list, I noticed there was a high number of spells, and being a person who enjoys a Gates deck as well, this piqued my interest a little bit. The only other permanents here are the Virtues, Etali, and Atraxa, and then we've got 4 copies of Spelunking to help out with some of our Gates that might come into play tapped as well. Other than that, we've got spells to try to ramp, along with Cosmium Confluence to make gigantic caves to win the game that way. So yeah, let's see a few games with this deck over on the ranked standard ladder. Alright, let's see what trouble we can get into here. Captivating Cave, huh? It really is just kind of reskinned Gates, isn't it? Alright, opponent starting off with some Kumano Faces Kakazan. Let's start off with our Restless Cottage. Provides the mana we need. We've got our Gargantuan Leech here for some lifelink. Could be good against our mono-red opponent. There's Cosmium Confluence. All right. Going to be a lot of reading of these caves here. Apologies for the delay. Let's go. I think we probably have time to ramp here. Let's go for Glimpse the Core. Apparently there's a bunch of forests in the core, so let's grab one of them. Kumano going to flip over for our opponent. Got 5 damage on board. And then a Professional Facebreaker. I kind of like that card. I'm glad it's been seeing a little comeback lately. At least in the matches I play. Alright, there's Spelunking. So that's apparently the whole enabler for this deck. Let's get this on board. Yep, we'll put out the Captivating Core Cave. And we still got land for turn. Let's put out the Maw. And so we can pay 1 life now for any color of mana. Since we have the Forgotten Cave down already, so that means we can Molten Collapse. So let's Molten Collapse on Feldon so they don't see any extra cards if we end up having to Calamitous Cave-In the rest of this board away. Ooh, and you gain 4 life off the Spelunking if you put a cave into play? It gives you a little bit of padding. Otherwise, feels very similar to Up the Beanstalk, I guess. Although debatable as to whether that's as good. Okay, opponent with some nice spicy includes here. You don't really see Jaya in too many mono-red decks, but I love Jaya. I think she's great. Get your Prowess Monks. You get to see more cards off the top. Alright, apologies again. I've got to read all of these caves. Let's go Calamitous Cave-In to hit everybody. Jaya, still a little bit of loyalty left, but I think that slowed our opponent down enough where we might be able to follow up next turn with a Leech and hopefully something else. Opponent sticking with the spicy inclusions. Puts out Urabrask and another Monk with Jaya. Okay, gonna have to do some quick maths here. Don't think there's a good way to do this. Yeah, we might actually have to Cosmium here so we can take out Kumano. Yeah, let's take out Kumano. We can get Hidden Necropolis for some card advantage later on. I think we've got our colors sorted. Sunken Citadel might be useful if we're going to start using land-based abilities. Let's take that. All right. So now we've got enough caves in play for the Leech, I think. But we can at least soul transfer Urabrask. And we're safe. Oh, we're 1 short. Passed right on there. Okay. Slight miscalculation on my part, but we were at least able to soul transfer Urabrask off the board. Opponent follows up with a Thran Spider. What artifacts are you playing in that deck, opponent? I'm really intrigued now. Glimpse the Core. So that brings a cave back from the grave. Let's pump up the Restless Cottage here. Opponent doesn't have great blocks. And we need to start putting a little pressure on Jaya over there. Not to mention it would be nice to have some food to eat. And we can do this before playing the Leech. Blocks with a Monk. It's kind of expected. Alright, we can safely get the Leech out. Got enough for that. Yeah, no sense in glimpsing the core just yet. We've got like 2 of our 5 forests out here. We could potentially pump up the Maw for blocks.
The experience will do you
Gingerbrute from the opponent. Okay. Well, can't be blocked. Nullifies my Leech advantage. Alright, opponent hits us for 1, down to 6. 1 card left in their hand. Might as well eat this food while we've got some time. Alright, back up to 9. Alright, another Cosmium Confluence. Okay, I think we're at the stage now where we can start making our lands into creatures. Let's go Necropolis, the Maw, and the Captivating. Going to attacks. Opponent looking at the lands. And we've got our Leech. Let's send the Leech at Jaya. Plus... I mean... might as well send them all. If the goal is to get Jaya off the board to reduce the amount of cards they can see, then this is kind of the direction we're stuck in. Alright, well at least the Leech gives us some life back.
You win some, you lose some.
They might be able to activate the Spider once. Just checking out the Maw, the Necropolis here. So Necropolis can get us, can discover us something. Citadel can help us pay for it. And there's nothing much else special about the Maw. Although it is fun to say. An opponent scoops it up. Good game. All right. We're trying out... Of course, Arena gives it to me right away for a change. We're trying out Rowan's Grim Search for a little more card draw. After that last game, felt like we just needed a little something. Keep our hand full of cards. Opponent on some Naya colors so far. Could be some form of exile deck, especially with that avatar they're rocking over there. Let's glimpse the core, grab a forest for a little bit of ramp. Okay, yeah, this may be an exile-y deck. Opponent's got the Questing Druid for us. Puts that out on the board. Follows up with a land and nothing. Well, this pit comes into play tapped, but we kind of need the mana. Suppose we could exile our own Glimpse the Core. Might as well. Do kind of need some black and or red mana here. Ooh, but the Forgotten Cave can help us with that. Okay. We can learn. Mishra's Research Desk. Great enabler in the exile deck. Nothing else, though. Hits us with the Druid for 2. All right. Well, we are semi-online here. Let's start with a big score and see if we can pick up another land drop for the turn. And I'm going to ditch this Soul Transfer since the mana requirements are a little high right now. We get another cave. Or sorry, another monument and a maw. They're all caves. I don't know what I'm saying. We're going to do Virtue of Persistence to remove the Druid. All right. Now, this deck can spill out a bunch of stuff, so oh, there's Quintorius. Interested to try Quintorius. We draw Spelunking. All right, let's play on our land for turn. Even with Quintorius in this spirit, we're still at 19. Let's try to get Bombardment to stick. If it doesn't, I suppose we've got Virtue. And then Grim Search could help us find a little more to do. Quintorius hits us. And they've got Chandra on top of it. This is a little bit beefier take on the Exile deck. I kind of like it. A lot of them in the past seemed to have depended on Pia for the Thopters and the little stuff, but this is a good direction. Let's go Calamitous Cave-In here. We really need to answer some of these Planeswalkers. We pick up Soul Transfer. Definitely going to Soul Transfer Chandra, who is going to be left alive by this anyway. Nice. All right, let's pass. Going to hold the Spelunking because we can Grim Search to activate Bombardment. Assuming our opponent doesn't have any more giant Planeswalkers. Dusk Rose Reliquary. That's a new one. Enters the battlefield, exile target. All right, well, let's go ahead and Grim Search now if they're going to exile my treasure. We'll just do the regular version, pay a little bit of life. Bombardment, ooh, picks up big score. That's great. We're going to pitch this secondary Bombardment. I think if they had the ability, they would have removed Bombardment already. All right, and we've got a Sheoldred's Edict in hand. Nice instant for us, and we draw another Virtue off the top. All right, let's play out Forest. That will let us Virtue. And since the board's kind of empty, can afford to pass it on back to our opponent. See if we need to Edict anybody on their turn. They're looking for something with the research desk. There's Pia finally. Okay, here's Pia. We're at 7. Nothing else. Okay. I was going to say, they sometimes have these explosive hands, but we got fortunate there. Let's Sheoldred's Edict. Just to get the nice Bombardment activation. They make a token with Virtue. Okay, that turns out not mattering. We pick up Calamitous Cave-In anyway. We can big score. Let's get rid of this Volatile Fault. No need to Soul Transfer with all this getting swept up in the Cave-In. And we pick up a nice Atraxa off the top. Virtue. Let's go ahead and take Pia. There's a chance we might be able to activate that in this deck. Play out the Cottage, and I think oh, all right. Didn't get to play Atraxa. Good game. All right, we've got 3 lands. We got to glimpse the core. We're going to keep this. Start off with a Restless Cottage to get our colors online. It is kind of nice with these caves that not all of them come into play tapped. So it's not absolutely critical that we get the land that, or that we get Spelunking, although it does help. Opponent looks to be on mono white soldiers from what I can tell. Opponent going to curse us with silence. All right. Names Restless Cottage. Huh. I guess that works. That's a puzzler, but maybe they can't figure out what we're on. Sometimes I can't figure out what we're on, to be honest. I mean, look at this hand. We've got Bombardment, Rebuild the City, and Atraxa. All right, opponent's got an Adeline. Goes to attacks. We'll take the 3, drop to 15. Suppose we could have gone for the throat on Adeline. A little early there. That's a oops. We draw Monument off the top. All right, well, this is going to be helpful for eventually casting Atraxa, but unfortunately for right now, we're 1 mana off doing pretty much anything. Opponent's got a Faithbound Judge for us. Haven't seen you in a while. Threatens to flip over and lose us the game, potentially, although we do have some enchantment removal in here. Let's get this bombardment down so the judge can't attack us yet, and these other things are a little bit weak. Ooh, I was saying, so they've got the adversary, but not that much mana, so they can pump up the team a little bit. Judge still can't attack. They're going to drop us to 5 with that attack. All right, and we pick up some nice smaller spells here, too. So, I think we got a Virtue now. Let's Virtue away the adversary. Activate Bombardment. Nice, we pick up Go for the Throat. Let's get rid of the Recruitment Officer. Keep them a little bit low on cards. Still time left on the judge, but now we've got mana left to cast our instant on our opponent's turn and keep activating Bombardment. Opponent's got a follow-up officer for us, followed by a Cloudsteel Kirin. Huh. I do like that card. I do wish I could have found a way to make it work that was at least enjoyable. Let's put the Maw in front of this token. And then use the mana. We can still make them sacrifice a non-token creature here. And we will go for the Throat. This will happen before they get to choose, so we can take our pick and... Yep, might as well glimpse the core. Should be a few forests left in here. There we go. All right, they might sack the judge. They're a little ways off of replaying. No, they get rid of the Kirin. Okay. Could be depending on this judge to fly over and finish us off. Well, let's go rebuild the city. I think we want it on Cottage. So the lands are going to have Summoning Sickness anyway, so even if we did the forest, we couldn't attack. And if this judge is going to fly over, they can't block anyway. Bombardment picks up some spells. We're going to glimpse the core. Don't need to Edict because we've also got Go for the Throat under there. I don't think we have to worry about any hasty stuff from this opponent. All right, so the nice thing about animating those cottages is that we get the free ability when it attacks. Opponent's got the ossification for one of them. Follows up with a Thalia. And we draw Spelunking, but no caves in hand to get that life gain. Which would be nice right about now. Yeah, well, let's go attacking. We'll remove the Kirin. And the Faithbound Judge. All right, so if we can't Spelunk, we've at least got some food to eat thanks to these Restless Cottages. Might as well put out the Spelunking for the tapped bonus up. Not a cave off the top, but we'll put it into play anyway. At least we get the draw and a little bit of extra mana to pay for this food. All right, opponent getting stonewalled by some activated cottages here. Let's go to attacks, see what they do here first. Let's eat a little bit more out of that graveyard. Oh, I forgot. These cottages have these have menace. So many abilities. All right, well, I think we can afford this. Let's go Atraxa. That drops us to 4. We can eat a food if we really have to. Let's grab a few things off the top. Thanks to old Atraxa here. Virtue is going to be life gain. That's a little better than big score here. And let's take Confluence, since they look like they're playing with enchantments. Drop that land into play. And we'll end it there. All right, nothing but lands off the top, and opponent scoops it up there. Good game. All right, well, a bit of an expensive hand. We've at least got this Glimpse the Core to start the ramp train a-rollin'. Opponents with a slate of hand here. Let's see. Bit of a different mix of caves we've got going on this game. Yeah, let's go black. Decent amount of black spells. Opponent with a Delver over there. Let's go for Glimpse the Core. Pull out a forest here from this deck. I might have to keep Glimpse the Core in mind for future bombardment decks. It is very nice to have some ramp on turn 2 to get us to big score. And this deck doesn't lean too heavily on that. But we might be able to put it in as like a side ability there. You're going to Spell Pierce my Spelunking. Alright, well, I can't blame you. Let's go ahead and eat those spells out of our opponent's graveyard with this Pit of Offerings. That will at least make any future Haughty Djinns a little less scary. Opponent hits us for another 3 with the Delver. Down to 14, Forest the draw. Let's go for the Confluence here. And I think we just want some caves. All right, question is which caves? Well, we want the Forgotten Monument. That's for the mana fixing. Let's see. Let's take Hidden Volcano for the discoverability. And what else? I think we want the Maw. Yeah, don't have any other creature lands on board right now. Would be nice to be able to attack eventually with something here. Opponent thirsts for knowledge main phase, discards a couple of other thirsts. Hits us again with the Delver down to 11. We draw a big score off the top. All right, well, we've got exactly enough to do this. We'll get either Glimpse the Core or the Confluence if we cast a spell this turn. So let's go Bombardment. And Glimpse the Core. We'll go looking for a forest. All right, we get the Confluence. I mean, yeah, we're going to cast it. Question is, what do we do with this? Well, let's get one more cave out of there. And yeah, let's just put 3 counters on one land here. All right. And we'll take one of those. And let's see. Yeah, let's put it on the Maw, I guess. So if by putting counters on the Maw, if we activate the Maw, it'll pump itself up to a 6/6, I guess. All right, opponent's got a Terror. Attacks with the Delver brings us down to 7. We draw another Confluence. Well, let's put some more counters on some things. We get Glimpse the Core and the other Confluence that was already in there. All right, well, time to put some more counters on things. Might as well choose the Maw here. Pick out that forest. And finally, more counters on the Maw. Yeah, we can force the block here, so obviously we're going to go to attacks. Threatening lethal, and opponent doesn't have the ability to take us out on the backswing. We've got a instant in hand with big score. Oh, they've got another Terror. I was thinking maybe we could pump up another cave here. All right, although opponent's attacking with the Delver, pretty confident in their abilities to block. Let's go big score. Discard Spelunking, I suppose. We get another glimpse of the core. All right, let's go Cosmium Confluence. Yeah, I think just 9 counters is the order of the day. I think we've got at least one forest left in here, so let's glimpse the cave one more time. There it is. All right. See if the opponent's got any counters for us. No. All right, so let's make another big cave to go along with the first one. We pick up an Atraxa. All right. All right, is there a way we can pull this off this turn? Let's put the cottage into play. If we rebuild the city, that's a spell for bombardment. I don't know if it matters what we choose here. We're going to choose the forest. That's going to activate bombardment. We've got one confluence under there. All right, we pick up the second one. That's great. We're going to confluence. We're going to put 9 counters on a cave. We're going to confluence. We're going to put 9 more counters on a cave. All right, cave number 1. Almost lethal. Let's give it a little bit more. And we'll even everybody out here. And... well, let's make them have it. Make them have the fading hope. I guess a march gets them out of this here. They can block one of these caves. Okay, blocks one with the terror. Opponent. All right, they've got slip out the back for our other cave, but they're still in trouble. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Let's wait on Atraxa. If we try to Atraxa there, we get into lethal range of this Delver. All right, opponent's got Haughty Djinn. Let's see if they decide to attack here. They do. That means they could have one more thing in hand to deal with these giant lands. Although we've got all of our menacing forests now. Down to 1, and we got there. Good game. I can't keep a 2-lander. This one, I think we can keep just because we have the glimpse. Let's put back Go for the Throat. And at least we've got the right colors. Going to need some red here for our board wipe. All right, we'll start off with Cottage. Got the Sunken Citadel in hand. Thermo Alchemist from the opponent. All right. Well, let's get our Maw into play. Do some core glimpsing, grab a forest here. Pass it on back to our old opponent. Ooh, opponent's got a Kessig Flame Breather. So they're going to be dependent on spells for sure. Let's go Sunken Citadel. It's going to be tapped, but that is our red mana for our Calamitous Cave-In. Also going to want that for our big score coming up. So the question is, are they going to be able to burn us out fast enough? All right, Thermo Alchemist hits us a couple times. Reckless Impulse. Opponent sees a few mountains off the top. Another Impulse. So Flame Breather is going to hit us. Alchemist triggers, we're down to 15. Opponent comes in with the Flame Breather. Very good. We're down to 14. Yep, we're going to wipe this away, so I'm going to hold on to Go for the Throat for now. So we know we're playing the 4-drop. Let's drop the Hidden Necropolis, and Cave-In should be enough to take out these red spell-slingery creatures. Alright, so we could be in a spot if we have the ability. Yeah, what is with these red players playing Urabrask today? Yeah, that does it. We get hit with Play with Fire down to 10. Virtue of Persistence, the draw. Okay, let's play Volatile Fault. Well, I know I want to get rid of Urabrask, so let's go ahead and go for the throat that. We don't necessarily have to big score now, since these treasures will put us kind of over the top of 7 mana, which is what we need. So let's big score. We're going to get rid of Etali. The logic here is that by playing Virtue, we're going to be able to get back Etali over and over, plus our opponent's Urabrask. And I think we're going to be able to do it. Let's go Virtue straight into 7 mana Virtue of Persistence. All right, still at 10, but we know our opponent's probably got a little bit of burn in hand. Going to have to start thinking about life gain or big plays that'll make him scoop. All right, let's reanimate Etali. Take a look off the top. Ooh, we get the Red God. Ojer Axanil, Deepest Might. I'll take a second Etali from us. That'll let us re-roll here. Another Ojer from the opponent and just a Glimpse the Core. Well, we'll take it. That's fine. Gonna decline that second one. We've already got one going on. All right. Well, I don't know if that's going to be too relevant in our deck, but at least it's a 4-power body. All right, let's play out Restless Cottage here. And, oh, wait a minute. Oh, my. Did we? Hold on. Okay, it didn't have haste, but I think we have enough mana to flip Etali if we live. Okay, opponent smacks us with the Virtue. We're down to 8. But I don't know if they saw. Truth be told, this is the first time I've had enough mana to do this. Let's give it a try. Let's see. Trample 11. Should be 11 poison counters. We've got the 10 mana and a treasure to spare. Sure, let's go to combat. Etali triggers, and that's enough poison to end it. Okay, good game.